So, what are the best ways of building with AI in 2026? So, we've reached a point where we have all these different setups, access to technologies, models, frameworks, and there have become some very specific ways that you can get the most bang for your buck out of using these different technologies. And we've also reached a point where there's very little that you cannot do. It was really a matter of what do you want to build? Are you willing to commit the time or the uh, dedicate the attention to bringing that idea or use case or scenario to life and then just going after it. And in this video, I want to show three primary ways that I've been using in order to build production level software and apps leveraging AI. All right, so I'm spinning up a project here that I was working on the other day. It's a proposal software that organizes your proposals, sales proposals, and has eSign embedded into it and can connect to Stripe. And I'm just using this as an example just for the environment here. So I'm within Cursor AI, which has made a lot of updates over the last several weeks. Cursor now has Cursor automations, so you can set recurring tasks. They also have cloud agents now, so you can have these agents run for uh, up to 10 hours at a time and send you updates along the way. Real agentic type, world. So what I want to show here is first the Cursor agent, right? So if you click on new agent at the top left, it brings up the Cursor composer. And this is the first way of building, right? So you have your different models here. As we know, everything from Gemini 3.1 Pro, GPT 5.4, Sonnet and Opus 4.6, which are the most powerful models. You can have it local, you can have it in the cloud. And this is one of the ways that I use. So on the standard Cursor plan, it's $20 a month, and you get particular amount of usage. If you're using a stronger model, you can end up using it up pretty quickly. And so you just have to be mindful of around what you're on. Composer 1.5 and auto mode are the most affordable kind of modes, but I like to just have this here, particularly if I'm using Gemini 3.1, because Gemini is really great for multimodal use cases. And so I have it there right now a lot of times for working on the interface of apps. Now, the second way I would like to talk about is Codex. So you have different extensions within Cursor. If I show the extensions area, and you can integrate all different software within Cursor, from GitHub Actions to CodeRabbit for doing code reviews, to OpenAI's Codex agent, the coding agent for OpenAI. And so if I click on Codex, then you can see another composer pops up. So this is the OpenAI composer here, built within Cursor. And GPT 5.4 is unequivocally the best and most powerful model, hands down, out right now. And I've had a great time using it. You have different versions of 5.4 that you can use. You can use 5.4 fast, which is what I'm on. You see that lightning bolt on the left. You can also reset that, change speed from fast to standard. And then you also have different reasonings. So now Codex is the second way, right? And if you have your project listed out here, so if I show my project files, which these are all the project files right here, what I like about being within Cursor among these different setups is that if I'm using the Cursor composer, or if I'm using Codex, or if I'm using the next example that I'm going to show, is that I'm able to just update the files all within this one space. The people who really vouch for the CLI, the command line interface, in coding, particularly from your terminal, and the CLI is fine, but like when you're coding just with the terminal. So if I pull up the terminal right here, this is right now connected to my OpenClaw. If I pull up a new window, let's go, grass, then I can launch Codex through the terminal. I can launch Claude Code, for example, through the terminal, but then now I have to keep track of where all my files are. And And it's not like a huge deal. I realized I can go into my finders folder and identify the specific folder that the project that I create is in. But I just find it it's able to, you're able to make things tighter, but it's kind of keeping it all within Cursor here. I think for those who come from a non-technical background, or identify as I'm going to call it traditional vibe coders now, like those who have gotten really good at using these tools, but don't necessarily have a long time software engineering background. Having what you build within this environment is very helpful. So now the third way is actually through the terminal here. So I'm going to click on the bottom right here, click on terminal. I will X out this agent for a second, and then I'm going to type in Claude Code. I'm going to launch Claude Code. And all you have to do is literally type in Claude space code, and this pops up. So now I have Claude Code, Opus 4.6 on the max plan. And so this is the third example here where I can now prompt through Claude Code. So this Claude Code, there's Codex right here, and then there's also the Cursor Composer agent here as well. So three different ways that I can build all within the same workspace. And if I'm being honest, mostly using Claude Code these days. I probably cycle back between Claude Code and Codex. And with Cursor, I use it every now and then for specific things, either to communicate, to get my thoughts out, or to use Gemini so that I can have that design quality. But this is what I look at as the ultimate setup, because you have three different ways, and then you can also spin up parallel agents, for example, right? So I can have multiple agents from Cursor, right? Each time you click a new agent, you can have different agents that are running. You can spin up sub agents with Claude Code, or also additional instances, as they call it. So if I click on bash, whoops, I meant to say split terminal. So if I split terminal right here, I just X'd out that first one, and I could type in Claude Code here. I could type in Claude Code here, and it'll give me multiple instances of Claude Code that I can now build with. And so we've got Claude Code, we've got Codex, we've also got the Cursor Composer agent here as well. And these are three different ways of building within this workspace. And I've tried the terminal, the computer's terminal. I've spent some time with it, and I would just say for those who come from a non-technical background, or are, I'd say, AI native builders, having a closed environment like this where you can locate your files on one side, and whether you're updating through Composer, through Claude Code, through Codex, it all just, you can kind of see everything lined up here on the right, or on the left in some cases. It just makes for a much more streamlined and easier experience. Not that you can't pull up those files within your computer if you're using the terminal, but it's just easier having it in a closed environment here. And I'd also bring up, now, when it comes to building applications, when it comes to building software, and also for like kind of ancillary and miscellaneous type of scenarios, this is that setup. Now, when it comes to building workflows, now when it comes to servicing, right, like doing work for others that may or may not include software. So I'm talking along the lines of campaigns, marketing, operations. I've become very much at home now with Claude and Claude Code. So I use Claude Chat for just kind of communication back and forth. Claude Cowork for organization, like anything involving organizing files. Claude Code you can use for pretty much anything you can use Claude Cowork for. So Claude Code, pretty much everything else, right? And I am enjoying Claude Code from both the standpoint of, like, it's a really great harness. So it's just a more coding with Opus 4.6 or Sonix 4.6 within this environment is a more effective model. And you can actually now build remotely as well. So if you have Claude downloaded to your mobile phone, you can actually communicate through here and make updates through there. So it almost kind of becomes like an open Claude, because Claude also has its scheduled tasks as well. So you can have these cron jobs that run consistently, and so you can do these automations and you can build remotely. And so for those reasons, I started using Claude Code a lot more, and I'm liking it for more servicing type of scenarios with working with clients and the like. So those are the setups. Like right now, I say we're living in a time where you have to really ask yourself, what are you going to make your AI home? And as you get deeper into the space of building with AI, agent orchestration, and you get more granular in what you can do, your Claude codes, your codexes, your cursors. I didn't talk about anti-gravity. For some reason, anti-gravity keeps giving me a lot of trouble. It just gets stuck for some reason when I'm using it. So I didn't talk about anti-gravity. And Windsurf is also, really slept on by a lot of people. But those two setups right there, whether you're using Cursor, whether you're using Claude Code, are very effective, and ones that those ecosystems are going to continue to grow. So you can kind of just continue to level up those setups as you are sort of creating an environment that works well for what you're building.